I'm here today to give you some variations of our stomach series exercises. The variations that I'm going to give you today, they are going to be really great for beginners. So if you're brand new to Pilates, the variations I'm going to give you today are going to really help you maybe understand those exercises and do them safely in your body. These versions are also especially great if maybe you have some low back stuff going on, because the variations I'm going to give you are what I would call supportive. They allow you to really feel the engagement that you want to feel, find your core muscles, but do it in a super safe way so that you make sure you're kind of protecting your back as you do it. All right, so let's get started with exercise 1, which is our single leg stretch. Now I have some props with me today. Actually, my ball rolled over here. The two props that I'm going to specifically use are a 9-inch fitness ball and a resistance band. Now, if you don't have these two things, there's some substitutes at home I'm sure you have that you could use. For the band, grab a pair of leggings or a pair of like stretchy sweatpants or something and use that instead for your band. If you don't have a ball, you could use a yoga brick for what we're going to do, or you can just take like a bath towel and like roll it up, and I'll show you when we get to that stuff how to use it. All right, so we're going to start off using our stretchy band for our one leg stretch. So what I want us to do is take the band and wrap it around our toes, balls of the feet, and then we're going to be laying back on your mat. Now, the more you choke up, the more supportive your band is, so don't be afraid to choke way up on your band. All right, so we're going to start off and we're checking in with our back. So the whole goal of this stomach series exercise is to do all kinds of fun things with our arms and legs while we keep our back stable. So I want you to really feel those abdominal muscles pulling in. Maybe notice how your back gently pulls toward the mat because we want to keep that. So right now I have both legs in my band, and I'm going to pull my shoulder blades down my back. My arms are going to stay straight. I'm going to take one leg out and just hold it here for a second. Make kind of a bent leg position. And then I'm going to inhale, press one leg up from my center. Now, how low I go with my leg is how low I can go and not feel like my back wants to arch or move. And then I'm going to exhale to bring it back in, and I'm going to switch legs. So as I inhale, I'm pressing out. The other leg gets to just kind of hold in space. Its job is just to hold still. And then exhale to come back in. And you're just going to alternate, inhaling as you press out. Make sure you're feeling those stomach muscles pull in and anchor your back to the mat. Exhale to come back. Now, if it feels all right for you to curl forward into our upright curl position, you can also do this here. Inhaling out. Exhale to come back in, and then we switch. And the whole time we're pulling our stomach muscles in. Want to feel them, and coming back. We do that. Reach, and then come back in. And you would do 5 on each side in your version. So whether that's the head down or up in that upright curl. Next exercise is our double leg stretch. We're going to do a very similar version with our band. So I would start with the head down on the mat. Really feel your core pulling in and get all nice and connected to your mat. Choke up as much as you want on the band. Choking up more is going to be more supportive. Remember that. Inhale, both legs are going to press out. And as they press, you want to really pull those stomach muscles in to anchor your back. Exhale to come back in. And we do 5 of these. Inhale, press. Just as low as you can go. You'll notice I'm not going super low with my legs. If I try to go too far down here, my back arches. So I got to keep my legs up pretty high and then come back. And then, of course, if you wanted to be in the curl, you could do the same thing there. So you could inhale, press out. Exhale to come back in. Notice that your legs have to work. We want to feel like you're pushing out into that band and then pulling to come back in. Inhale. Reach out, and then exhale to come back in, right? Awesome. So 5 each of those. And side note, I love the band because it helps us kind of find the work of the exercise. So as kind of a progression, after you've been doing that for a while, then you might want to try it without the band. And my favorite thing is, like, could we pretend like you had the band on your feet for this one, right? Like, hold a pretend band, anchor your shoulders down. Inhale, can you push as if you were trying to press that band out, and then pull to come back in. Inhale, so our legs aren't just like sloppily pressing out, they're reaching out. And then they're pulling in. And of course, you can do the same thing here. Inhale, press away from our center. Exhale to come back in. So that would just be kind of a little variation you could do as you feel like you're getting stronger on there. All right, we're going to head next to our scissors exercise. So for our scissors exercise, one of the things that I love is to prop our hips a little bit. I'm going to use the ball, but again, if you don't have a ball, you can take your rolled up towel and put it under your hips. You could take a yoga brick. You could take some books at home and put them under your hips. Anything will work. I'm going to do my little squishy ball. The ball, as you can see, is a little bit higher on there. And then we're going to take the legs. We'll start with kind of tabletop. Note, if you're on the ball, it's a little wiggly. So already your core is having to work to stabilize your back. We're going to keep our head down on this one, keep our shoulders anchored. We're going to stretch our legs towards straight. Now, if you're like, I can't quite get them to straight, that's okay. You can do it with bent. Maybe just keep working towards straight as you do it. Core is tight. Sometimes I even like to anchor my elbows and hold my stomach on this one. And then can we split the legs? So we would inhale, split the legs, and I think of it as a reach. So in the end range of your split, your legs are getting longer, right? Of course you can do a bigger reach. That's going to be more work the bigger you go with the split of the legs, right? The further this bottom leg goes from your center, the more your core has to work to stabilize. And you would just inhale on one and exhale on the other. It's fine to keep them right up here up top. And then, of course, as you're progressing, you'll make them just a little bigger each time to challenge yourself along the way. Note that your arms are working. You're pressing in. Your shoulders are nice and open. Right? We're just practicing. Can we move our legs in space and keep our back stable and our hips by pulling those core muscles in that whole time? Awesome. A little variation on there. You can add where you're going to reach up and grab your leg. Maybe that's down here on your thigh. Maybe it's up a little further, right? Especially if you're on your ball, that's going to be more wiggly. So that will be more work. Just know that. But it is a little variation on there. Press, press. And if you're reaching up to grab, when you grab, the arms are pulling towards you and the leg is pushing away at the same time. And so I'm going to grab my leg and press, and that helps me engage my core as I'm on there. All right, I'm going to bring my legs down to the mat, lift my hips up, and take my ball out, rolling down. All right, we have 2 more left. The next one is our double leg lower lift. We're going to come back to using your band on this one. We're going to put our feet in the band, and you just want those toes and balls of the feet in the band. We're going to lay back. Remember, the more you choke up the band, the more supportive it will be. So if you're feeling like you need more support, just choke up a little bit. I like to anchor my elbows and really pull my shoulders open on this one. Now, we are aiming to eventually get to that straight leg. If that doesn't seem doable and you need a little soft bend or bend in the knees, that's fine. So notice if you're straightening your legs and pressing up and your legs might be over your hips or they might be a little lower, this is already some work just to pull our stomach muscles in and not arch through our back. Then we're going to inhale, lower our legs away, and we are just testing out, can we push out into that band and lower, and how far can we go before we feel like our back's going to arch, before we can't pull our stomach muscles up and in, and then exhale to bring the legs back. Inhale, we're reaching out, right? Make sure you kind of feel like your butt, backs of the legs, trying to stretch your band longer. Exhale to come back in. And you could also do that with straight arms. Inhale, lower. That'll feel just slightly harder because you have a little less connection to your mat. Now, you can also take that to your upright curl. Inhale, lower the legs away. Exhale to come back with straight arms or bent arms, right? That push, push, push. Find that work through your legs. And coming back in. And just like that other one we did with the band, if you were to take the band away and maybe pretend like you were holding your band and then do this exercise, inhale, reach the legs and lower them. Exhale to come back. That would be that next progression. Maybe come up next into that upright curl. Do that reach and lower. The traditional exercises here. So hands behind your head. Maybe thinking that you had a band on your legs to lower and bring the legs back. Just to progress on there. All right. Awesome job, guys. Let's move on. We have one more. This next one is our crisscross, or we call it elbow to knee. We're going to come back to using the ball. Remember, if you don't have the ball, the towel works for this. You're just going to roll it up and kind of put it behind your upper back. A yoga brick will work for this. You can do the same thing, kind of place it behind your back a little bit. I'm going to use the ball. I'll get my ball back there. Placement. I usually put mine kind of in between tips of my shoulder blades. A little higher, a little lower is fine. You're going to find what works best for you. You're going to support your head. So have your elbows reaching forward a little bit. Have your head gently pressing back so your neck feels long and you're not overworking. Plant your feet on the mat. Already, this should feel like some core work just to hold this position. Right? The first thing we're going to practice is just this rotation of this exercise. So as you can inhale, twist. You really just want to get this sense of rotating your rib cage while your hip bones hold still. And then you could exhale, come back to center. We're going to do it nice and slow. And then you could go that other way. You could inhale, twist. And exhale as you come back. We're keeping a little bit of this curl the whole time. And then we're just rotating. And then coming back to center. Rotating. And come back to center. And then a progression on that might be, could we leave, let's pick our left leg up to tabletop. So when we twist, we're twisting toward the knee. And then we're going to come back to center. We're going to do a little switch legs. Bring the other leg up, twist, and back to center. And then we switch, twist, and back to center. Twist, and back to center. Let's do one more on each. Remember, don't overwork with your neck. Let your head kind of press back into your hands. And we want to really feel this from our center. Pick that leg up. You want to feel your sideways, your obliques working to get that rotation. And then coming back. Ta-da! And that is our 5 exercises and some variations that are just going to be a little more supportive. Good way to use some props to make those exercises a little more accessible for you. All right, as always, if you have any questions on these exercises, let us know. Send me an email. I would love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments of the video.